Okay, so let's get started. As I said, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Nate. I'm the Director of Sales for Transition Technologies here in North America, and I'm joined by two extremely important individuals, Alexandra from our global marketing team, and Michael, our augmented reality team manager. Without these individuals, we wouldn't be able to do this today, both from a marketing perspective, putting on this webinar and being able to bring some value, hopefully, to you today, and from Michael and his team sharing their experiences over the last couple of years working on these types of projects within organizations. So let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about augmented reality and how that can be utilized in your PLM and CAD environment, and bringing that to life and pushing past the neat and cool technology portion of this and getting into some real rooted business impacting use cases. So quick little rundown of the agenda. I did some short introductions on the presenters today. I'll go through a quick baseball card of transition technologies and talk about our services and solutions. And then Michael's going to share his experiences and the knowledge he's gained and his team have gained over the years working in this augmented reality phase. So without further ado, let's get started. If you look at transition technologies, we're part of a larger transition technologies capital group. And with that cooperation, we actually have a reach across 6 continents, more than 2,000 people. We're a private organization. Navigating to the right on this screen, our people and our passion are wrapped around having an agile work environment. We try and be as multilingual as possible. And with our partner network that we'll talk about at the end of this slide, we have upwards of 3,000 specialists that our customers have access to be able to navigate through this technology world today and adopt it correctly. Moving on to our experiences, we have around 6 areas of expertise, 7 verticals. I don't like to throw us, in the vertical portion because I think we stretch across many verticals, many competencies, but around 1,200 projects we've completed, and about 40 are being delivered at any given time on average. The last point in our experience I want to make and talk a little bit about is the knowledge that we've gained over the last couple years doing these IoT and AR projects. We have more than 200 projects that we've completed, and that's really there to benefit our customers going forward. The knowledge that we've gained and we've captured is here to utilize and be of value to organizations as they start to adopt this digital age that we're going through. And we couldn't be as strong as we are or as valuable as we are without our partnerships. So moving on, as I talked before in the verticals, it goes from automotive to machine building, heavy equipment, to aerospace, to energy, consumer goods. And we couldn't align to those 200 plus projects in these verticals without having these areas of expertise. And in the Internet of Things, Industry 4.0, digital thread, whatever buzzword you're utilizing to be able to define your initiatives to move into this new digital, this data collecting, being able to make value out of that data that you're collecting day in and day out. We have an immense amount of team and immense amount of effort and knowledge for you to be able to utilize. And that stretches also along towards the right side of this bottom part of the slide into PLM, as we're going to talk about augmented reality, machine learning. We're cloud enthusiasts, And at the end of the day, we also have a software development arm that is extremely valuable for organizations, both to be able to augment their software development or to come to us with an idea. And we wouldn't be able to execute all that if we didn't have these industry needs sitting in front of you as the audience and us today to be able to help you facilitate. So we have these types of thoughts in our mind as any organization is trying to design, manufacture, operate, and do service on their products. And these may not all align to what you're trying to do today, but I can guarantee you, you'll bump into some of these needs. And we feel that with the unique blend of expertise that we have, the knowledge we've gained both in the operation side and the IT side, we're really fit to be able to help you meet and exceed your requirements in this digital age. So before I flip it over to Michael and have the real value of this presentation and this webinar hit home, I do want to take a couple seconds and talk about any individual, any organization that has any amount of budget or any amount of intelligence cannot ever control time. So the fact that you took time out of your day to join us and our global team is extremely important, and we're honored that you have taken some of your precious time and joined us today. So we hope you walk away motivated and a better understanding of how you can bring these experiences to reality that Michael's going to share. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Michael, our augmented reality team manager, dear friend of mine, and cannot repay Michael for the amount of knowledge he's bestowed upon me in my year and a half being with Transition Technologies. So Michael, take it away.
Okay, thank you. So let me start the journey about how to do a co-review in augmented reality based on your PLM and the CAD data that you have in your environments. So what are the use cases that I will be talking today? So from the project that we've been a part, here are the most interesting parts that enhanced collaboration can really improve. So these are just, let's say, short terms like gathering the requirements and also approval of the requirements on the final product, either client-oriented or from manufacturing process perspective, a virtual product variance comparison, introduction of changes and how to do it quickly, and putting virtual assemblies in target environments, as well as product appearance and shape analysis, and those product ergonomy studies. What brought us here? So the original idea was born some time ago when we first met one of our clients at the PTC AR community meeting. It's a kind of a technical community when all the participants are sharing ideas, solutions, and also ask for product needs concerning PTC AR product, which is Vuforia Studio. The discussion started about any possibilities of collaboration in augmented reality. And we were just after completing one of the proof of concept where we were letting users share one session for arranging together a manufacturing floor space, just putting machines together one by one to create a kind of a manufacturing line concept and see how it fits the physical factory. The idea from the customer was to find a way to improve the efficiency of their design reviews with their clients, thanks to improved collaboration and communication. And actually that should result in shorter production development process. And they wanted an experienced team to build a solution on some functional building bricks. And speaking about building bricks, so this will be like 4 technical slides. Sorry for that, but I just want to make sure that we have all the common fundamental awareness about it. So first of the bricks that we used was Windchill PLM environment. In a shortcut, it's a collaborative environment enabled with the web technology, so it can be used all over the world. And it has been designed to enable engineers to develop and manage data more effectively and efficiently. It provides the entire enterprise with a common information sharing mechanism that stores and manages information, controls access to information, provides collaboration tools, and provides fundamental process like change management, release management, and configuration management. Other topic are CADs, so simply computer-aided design is a kind of a technology or concept. So computers can aid in the creation of and modification and analysis and optimization of the design. And CAD software is used to increase the productivity of the designers, improve the quality of the design, improve communications through documentations. And Creo Parametric is market-leading CAD software and has already some built-in functions for visualization. Augmented reality, apart from virtual reality, augmented reality is a concept and the technology behind that blends the real environment with some digital content, using usually a camera image processing and sensors to scan and understand the environment and just put something digital in that physical environment. Thingworx Navigate, that was not mentioned actually in the topic for the webinar, but it is very important piece because it acts as an integration layer between what we see in augmented reality and what we get from PLM and what we later on has as an output of our design review process. What is the main challenge in the design reviews? So I've been talking a lot with some guys who were working as design engineers, and we had some surveys and long discussions about it. And the biggest challenge is to bring all the stakeholders together and perform it smoothly and effectively. So certain decisions cannot be made during such meetings due to lack of information or lack of tools and expertise to assess the implications of a design change. Such decisions need to be later on postponed until all the uncertainties are resolved, require further meetings, and introducing further delays and costs into the project. This is how the design process looks like. So first, the designer creates a CAD document representing requested product or a feature. Then it's being uploaded to a kind of a repository. In this particular case, I mentioned PDMLink. And a design review meeting is being set up to review how it is, how it looks like, how it's made, and if it really is corresponding to the features. How the design review meetings look like, just like you see on the screen. Sometimes it's a call, like Teams or something like that. But for many cases, it is a physical meeting. Sometimes bringing some, for instance, 3D printed prototypes. Especially this is like the design review between the stakeholders or a client who requested something and the engineers. The main pain here is that current project review meetings are mainly based on the static presentations. And this is very common for design review meetings between stakeholders, so let's call them client, and the design office. And it brings a big list of issues. So because it's really hard to collaborate on something that is static. You may see only some predefined view, like top, left, right, isometric view, or sometimes even you work on the 2D drawing only. Participants may not have all detailed information that they need to review and to take the decision for a change. So engineers have to create a follow-up list to review remarks and implement that. And in current time, it's really getting harder and harder to have physical meetings. And for the people to get a feeling of a product more, prototypes are being created. The picture on the right shows the process of prototyping and reviewing designs in automotive sector. And you can imagine how hard it is to build a prototype using a clay, but this is a common behavior. So the conclusion is that the current IT tools are not used in design reviews, that are used in the design reviews do not possess the ability to fully deploy the team capacity to bring in relevant information and resolve design conflicts collectively and efficiently. And it consequently is leading to excessive costs and time overruns. What is now possible? What is already in place to improve it a little bit? So inside Windchill and Creo Parametric, there is already a solution to visualize and interact a little bit with an assembly. So it may be used as a tool to speed up a design review. With just few clicks, engineers are able to put virtual assembly in front of them in their space. How it looks from let's say, process perspective. Actually, what is needed to view the model in augmented reality, it's just picking an assembly, defining which plane would be used to align the positioning of the model, what is the optimization level of the model that we want to achieve, and then it's sent out, published to the cloud for optimization, and we simply receive a QR code to scan to see the model in our surroundings, and we can also share that information with others. So let me quickly switch to the video that I created to demonstrate you how this solution works. So it is an out-of-the-box solution that is already deployed. So first of all, so this is the Windchill PLM. We will pick a product from the list. Then we have to look up to a specific assembly that we want to visualize. So we have the digital product, simple representation, lightweight representation of it. On the left-hand side, we have the bill of materials. And in a minute, we will switch to the augmented reality view. So we have a publish AR experience action. And as I mentioned, we just need to take few decisions like the floor placement. So this is actually the plane that we will be that will be, let's say, synchronized with our floor or a desk. And we pick the quality for optimization because sometimes the models are really big. We hit the publish button. And right now we'll just have to go to my AR experiences action from my links, quick links, and we can see that our model is already published. And what we need is a QR code, either for a mobile device or for the 3D eyewear like Microsoft HoloLens. So, and we can also send it via email to somebody for just review or visualization. Okay, now let's switch to the HoloLens device experience. So I just scanning the QR code that I received by email. And I'm just able to put a plane like the floor or the desk. So I can see my whole assembly just in front of me. Of course, I can adjust it a little bit, put somewhere else, rotate it. And when I'm ready to go, I can walk around it. And first of all, I can get a sense of a feeling how big it is. What are the dimensions? I can have a closer look on each separate part from different angles. And when I would like to see what's inside, I can select part, and with voice command like hide selected part, I can hide specific parts to see how it's built and what's inside. Okay, let me switch back to my presentation. So this is a step forward, but still, in my opinion, users are more or less a little bit alone. I mean, they can do a design review, but they do it actually on their own. And what we really need is a way to use the technology to leverage the interactions, brainstorming, collaboration to build a common sense and consensus of what should be changed to improve the product. In general, design review can have several levels. So first one is between the client and the design office. So client creates requirements and design office has to implement that. On the other level, there can be design reviews in the design office internally. So on one hand, again, there can be like two mechanical engineers focused on some mechanical aspects and doing it like a pair to exchange and brainstorm about the solution and how it's done. Or there can be a cross-discipline review, like having representatives of electrical, hydraulical, mechanical engineers, and for instance, manufacturing technology specialists. So this is the conclusion that our client made in the end. At the beginning, they wanted to have one representative from each discipline, like mechanical, electric, and so on. But after testing the solution and demonstrating it to the power users, they decided that the first step, it makes more sense to have this review in smaller groups, like first review the design concerning specific discipline, like for instance, mechanical, and later on switch to the cross-discipline design reviews. And if we engage more users in the design reviews, if we provide them contextual metadata about pieces of an assembly, this can lead to a fewer number of quality meetings that effectively detect and resolve problems at the early stages. And that's actually responding to the design. It will respond to the design changes that can be made much easier and faster. So what we need is to have a smooth information flow from PLM or CAD to augmented reality. And this is actually behind the hood realized by the Thingworx Navigate, which is in the middle. And that would enable to really early identify the problems and some cross-disciplinary discussions and decision makings, as we can have all different people from different disciplines at one time in one session. And when we provide the contextual assembly or part information on the fly. So one of the concepts that really made us interested in collaborative design review was actually collaborative design process developed by Onshape, a CAD tool that is totally in the web environment. When designers have a chat window, so there is also a social aspect there. And if one designer needs help, one can invite another designer to join the session, and they both can collaborate in real time on the same CAD model, just like the transformation made by Microsoft to expose Microsoft Office in web environment instead of desktop applications. And here is how we see the collaborative design process of design reviews. Let me quickly switch to the video of the solution that we were developing. So it's based on Vuforia Studio, Thingworx Navigate, and Windchill. So at the very beginning, there is a mobile application that will be used for navigation and for leading the design review. We simply look up a product in Windchill by putting a number. So you can see this is more or less the same product. When we select the product, we start the review session. We load all the bill of material information and the occurrences one level down. So this is what you can see on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, there is a thumbnail of selected assembly or part and some attributes. And we expose a QR code, so all other engineers on the HoloLens 2 can join to the session. On the left-hand side at the top and right-hand side, you will see views from the engineers wearing HoloLens. And at the bottom, you can see the bill of material. So when somebody selects, like the leader of the design review selects a part or assembly, you can see in the app that these engineers are having the selected part highlighted automatically. And they have another panel with some attributes, some metadata of these attributes coming from the PLM system. The same information is also in the tablet experience at the bottom. So if we navigate through the BOM, we are able to go deeper and deeper to select assemblies and parts and to see all the related information, context information about them, and all the users really know what they are speaking about because this part is being highlighted. When one user wants to hide some parts, this is the same mechanism. Somebody selects it and says the voice command, hide selected part. But this information is also synchronized to all the participants in the session. And if we can also pick the part directly from the assembly, not only from the bill of material structure. So we select the part and we say display part info command. So on the fly, we ask the PLM system about all the metadata and attributes And this information is shared among all the participants, and how we can create notes during such a design review. We add up or select a part and we say the voice command create note. So we start like a remark creation. When we have that part selected, which is always visible for other guys, we can not only have the part in the note, so let's say like identifier what this part is, but we can also select an area. So for instance, this is like a virtual marker that is put in front of the user, and user, whenever is moving, this marker can move with him. And we can also do a zoom in, zoom out, change the marker size and type of the marker. So when somebody places a marker, this marker is really highlighting an area of assembly that the remark can concern. So we can also put a digital note by just displaying a digital keyboard and let user create a short description, what is wrong or what can be improved. And this is stored for a later review. And one picture is always worth more than 1,000 words, so we can take a photo with the voice command, and actually that information will also be stored in this digital note. At the end, we simply confirm note. And there is also a way to review them together. We can create them together, but we can also review these notes together. So when we are in the review mode, only for the notes created, we can see the description on the left on the panels, and the panel actually is also shared and synchronized in the session for the users. When we say show 3D marker or show related part, these are being highlighted and displayed, and all that information is also synchronized and displayed among all the participants in the sessions. If we want to, if there is already a photo assigned, and we say show photo command, the photo is being brought up as another panel just to illustrate what the problem was. And all that information and we can also accept or reject note, let's say internally. And all that notes are later on persistent, and they are digitally saved in the Thingworx Navigate, so somebody can go and just have a quick look on the web page and review such notes. And actually that would be great input for actually starting the digital change engineering process. Okay, so from what we observed from deploying such solution is that effective collaboration and cooperation in such environment is easy and natural. You can see 3D models in a physical environment with their real dimensions. You can walk around it, see the size of it related to other physical objects in your surroundings. You don't always need a physical prototype to see more and better understand the product. You can verify how product looks like in different environments, and if it more or less fits there. And you can work remotely and cooperate with your colleagues in real time. As you could see on the movie, these two engineers were in totally different localizations. They can for sure do it in the same localization, but actually that one was showing it from two different ones. And all digital information, I mean notes, are stored. So you can have further detailed analysis on it, and as a result, engineers can start digital change process. And we have very good digital input from the design review for it. So let me remind the use cases from the beginning of the presentations. So gathering the requirements regarding the development and selection of the optimal concepts at the early stage, or even in the, as a part of the drafting the solution. Confirmation and faster approval of the requirements and the final project. So on the side of the client ordering a new product, excluding need to order physical prototypes. On the manufacturer side, including possibility of assessing against the manufacturing process capabilities. Selection and comparison of different variants of a virtual product models in the target context. Quick introduction of changes to new or existing 3D models. Analysis and evaluation of the developed 3D models in the target context, where the final product will appear. For example, on a store shelf or on in the manufacturing floor. And carrying out analysis regarding the appearance and the shape with active participation of the client. And that leads also gives a new possibilities for product ergonomy studies. Just to recall one of the slides from the beginning, again, collaborative design review is improving the efficiency of the product design process through the active involvement of all participants. It also shortens the process of developing a product and at the same time reduce the cost associated with the project. And we have improved communication and collaboration, not only on physical meetings, but what is getting more important also in remote work conditions. And from what we have heard from the customers, it really changes the way design reviews take place. So that would be it from my side. Getting back to you, Nate.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. That was an awesome presentation. Again, we have some questions here in the Q&A box. I can go ahead and publish some. We may be starting to run out of time, as we promised to only take 50 or so minutes of everybody's precious time, but let me go ahead and publish some of these if individuals have not been able to read them in the Q&A box. So, are you able to see that?
Yes, so let me take on that. What is the Windchill version you are using? If I remember well, that was PDMLink 11.2 or .1 M20. And that was the minimal version because we need to leverage the web services that were introduced in that version to keep and to allow the communication.
Great. Here's another one.
Is it possible to use on-premise visualization server? The public-private selection suggested that this is a cloud solution and model has to be sent over somewhere to be further visualized by the viewer. So actually this was presented in the first movie and it is out-of-the-box solution that is provided with PDMLink or Creo Parametric. Yes, it is published, so it is using the cloud environment. In the second movie, we are not really publishing anything. What we are using is a kind of a template application, which is only a viewer. So we don't take the model out from Windchill and publish it somewhere. We do it on the fly and we retrieve all the model information as well as the light visualization directly from Windchill. So we are consuming the data and it's not going anywhere in the middle. I mean, it's not published anywhere. So if you have on-premise installation of your Windchill, that's for sure doable without any cloud solution.
Great. One more.
Okay. Does it work with Creo only or with other 3D software engineers like Inventor? To be honest, I'm not very familiar with Inventor, so it's hard to answer that. For sure, I know it was introduced in Creo Parametric.
So, quick high-level answer to this question, and we can dive into the details later and follow up with Marcin. But granted, the power of Windchill is also a multi-CAD data management solution. So if it's in Windchill, it's managed correctly. The production and publishing of that should be able to be done. But we will follow up on that one. How about this one?
How big model can be displayed? Example vessel like 1.2 meter diameter and 2 meter high. Good question, Marcin. I think that I'm not really sure if actually the volume of the model is such important. I would rather focus a little bit on the complexity of the model. So if that model, because it's quite, let's say, big, more or less, but it can not be very complicated as a mesh of the assembly, so that shouldn't be a problem. If we have very complicated concerning structure, if we have very complicated models, we also introduce something like another step, which is used for optimization of the model. So, for instance, if the model has like 800,000 triangles inside, sorry, that would be very technical, but in the end, it ends up actually with the number of triangles in the model. It may be a little bit hard, and in such cases, we do an optimization, which is not, let's say, breaking the overall structure. And we have, let's say, a site stored place when we put the optimized model. We still retrieve the information about bill of material and all the metadata attributes for each individual part and assembly, but we can use an optimized model for that.
Perfect. Let's do one more, and then we're probably running out of time.
Can this be displayed directly on site to check collisions against existing items? Good question. So with the building blocks that we used for this particular solution, right now it's not yet possible to, let's say, retrieve the scanning information from HoloLens because, let's say, at this stage it is a little bit limited in Vuforia Studio and it's not accessible, but I know that the product evolves and I hope to have that someday available.
Perfect. So I think we're at a stopping point here with this webinar. If anybody is seeing the banner to the top of the screen as I am, we're having another webinar that's focusing on PLM in the cloud, specifically with AWS. So by all means, please go to our webinar page, or you can write a question to myself or Michael at the information that you're seeing on the screen. So one last time to repeat myself, none of this could be possible without Alexandra and our global marketing team, as well Michael and his team's experience over the past couple years facilitating these type of technologies within organizations to meet and exceed requirements and solve problems. So if you want to learn more, please reach out. And again, thank you for spending some of your precious time with us today. Hope you have an amazing Thursday and a great weekend.